my name is H.A. Pruitt, and I am the author of the Anathalian series, and in this video I'm going to do a book review. And before I do the book review, I want to say it's really important to do book reviews so people know what the book is about, what kind of readers will like the certain books. The book that I'm going to review is the same genre that my book is, and so it just, like, when I do this review, it helps people know, like, what kind of books, like, I like to read and I like to write. This is this kind of book. Oh my goodness, I don't know why he's screaming. Anyway, anyway, the book I'm going to review today is called Evergreen and the Silver Tree by Jessica Musgrove. So the book is a middle grade book primarily, but I think YA, young adults, could still really enjoy it. I enjoyed it, and I'm not a young adult, I'm an adult. So, like, really any age, but it's safe for any age, even if you want to read it out loud to littler kids. There are some battles, not like graphic, just they're battles, and there's some like orc-ish creatures that might be scary for little bitty kids, but other than that, it's good for anybody, but targeted toward middle grade. And it is a Christian portal fantasy, which is my favorite of all time, Christian portal fantasy. So a summary. I'm going to read the back of the book. Stolen captives, silver hands, deception's spell. To restore truth, Evergreen and Henry must learn to stand tall amidst the fear coiled around Ezra's city, or else remain trapped in the Dragon King's lies. When Henry, a sullen boy, wakes up in another realm with no memories, he is gripped by fear, until a friendly foxglove offers to lead him to the light dwelling within the fruit of the silver tree. There he retrieves his memories, and with them, heart-wrenching regret. Will Henry find hope as the Dragon King's prisoner? 10 years after the disappearance of her first-grade classmates, Evergreen is haunted by the cold case. Driven by the persistent echoes of a scream for help rattling her mind, she seeks evidence in the cavern where her friends vanished. In the darkness, she's thrust into an enchanted world of wood-carving gnomes, invisible sprites, talking sparrows, and goblin spies hiding in the beguiling forest. Joy swells in her heart when she finds her classmates. Until she learns a Dragon King's deceptive curse has given them false memories of a life never lived, and it is her task to restore the truth and lead them all in a battle for freedom. When Evergreen is interrogated by the Dragon King's bitter servant, his cold silver hands send shivers through her spine, but she soon realizes he may be the only one who can help her unravel the lies. Will Evergreen rise up and become the warrior she is called to be? So that's what the book is about. Evergreen, when she was a girl, her classmates disappeared in this cavern on Earth, and when she's older, she wants to figure out what happened. She goes in the cavern, is transported to another world, and the whole story unravels from there. So I don't know if I can't hold the book up, so I may put a picture of it up by me while I read my review and hold the baby. So the positives of this story. I love the imagination of the fantasy world and the creatures and the races. The author had goblins and elves, but she gave them unique traits, and she created so many inventive, interesting, thought-out creatures and elements of Ezra City. Ezra City's the whole fantasy world. I enjoy discovering new parts of the world through the whole book. It was just fun to see what was going to come up next, what creature or what land form or whatever was going to come next. It was so fun and full of imagination. The themes of overcoming fear and the theme of joy despite darkness, they were clear and they were consistent through the whole story. You knew what this story was trying to teach you, and yet, like, it was through the story you learned it. It was never like a lesson. It was just beautiful. It was done so well. The themes were brought out and the lessons were brought out through the story. The characters began to struggle and grow through the events more and more until they had realistically learned those lessons by the end. It didn't feel like, okay, this is a character, this is the lesson they're going to learn, and they just magically figure it out. It was like, no. It's like, this character has this problem, and they have to go through all these events and deal with this stuff, which get them to the point of being like, I understand now, I get it now, just like a real person would. And the character's growth felt realistic and provided... I gotta turn my page. Their growth provided a good example of real humans with real struggles working to move forward. Another positive was the progression of the story, and the variety of situations, problems, and events kept my interest. The story had adventure, action, a wide range of characters who were a wide range of ages and had a bunch of different personalities. The book had multiple problems. It had beautiful and interesting settings. It had layers of antagonists, like the bad guy, and then the bad guy, and then the real bad guy, and then the really bad guy. It had fun and meaningful dialogue. The book had battles, it had romance, it had not easily won resolutions, it had setbacks, and it had an end that provides closure without dragging. So the book had all that. It had a ton of just great elements that I think make a book really good. I'm trying to read this with this baby on my lap. Another positive is the elements of Christianity stood out boldly, like not many books. He's saying, Mama, oh my heart. Okay, not many books do Christianity so boldly and do it so well. So the Christianity, it stood out boldly, is like plain, like she didn't, like a lot of books, this is totally okay, I do this, create like a different name for God in their world, like the Maker is in Anathalion, spoiler, anyway, but like Aslan is in Narnia, but like it was straight up God in this book, and so it was very straightforward. It was like Jesus died for our sins on the cross, like, and it had like the old rugged cross in there, like very straightforward, from earth Christianity, Bible-based stuff. But it was so well incorporated into the story. It made sense with the story. It never felt like, oh, the author included this because here's the salvation section of the story. Whenever they talked about Jesus, like, it fit with what they were dealing with. It fit with the dialogue. It fit with the people. How they spoke about Jesus fit with the characters, fit with the situation. It was incorporated so perfectly. And, like, this is how you do Christian fantasy. Because I know some people are like, you should never say books are preachy. You should never put down other Christian authors. But, like, you can be preachy. You can be preachy. You can have your section where you're like, okay, this is where I'm going to write the salvation section. And we're going to talk about Jesus here. And no, this was scattered throughout. It was part of the story. This is how you do Christian fantasy. You make it part of the story. You don't, you know, drop in lessons because people need to hear this. You make it part of the world. And she did that great. So read this book if you want to know how to do Christian fantasy well. And I like the characters. I'm trying to find where I'm reading. I like the characters. The characters felt like real people. They made mistakes, and I felt for them when they met tragedy or difficulties. She created realistic characters that you just felt for, and you rooted for, and you wanted them to get past their struggles. And so when a book has characters like that, that's a real big positive for me. Okay, we're gonna get through this. Negatives. What are the negatives? The book wasn't predictable in what was gonna happen, but I also wasn't surprised because the first part tells the whole backstory. And so, like, I knew what was gonna happen. I knew pretty much what was gonna happen. The smaller events getting to what was gonna happen weren't predictable, and so, like I said, it was interesting and exciting. I wanted to see what was next. I wanted to see what new creature was coming up, but still I kind of felt like, well, I already know what happened, and like the characters in it, but I did, and so I didn't feel that sense of mystery, that sense of intrigue pulling me along. I was like, well, what is going to happen to make this story interesting? And there were things, but it's still like, it didn't have that intrigue or mystery that makes you really want to read and find out what's going to happen. I think it would have been better if the backstory was scattered throughout the story rather than given at the beginning all at once. Come here. Come here. Okay. And another strange negative, which I'm not docking the author at all for this because it's probably Amazon's fault. If you look at the book, there's this lighter colored section in the middle. And in the middle of this book is a CPA, what is it? A CPA exam preparation book. The whole book. Just like this section, like this big of a section in the middle of the book. CPA exam. It's very strange, by a totally different author. And I'm blaming Amazon for it. It's so weird. It's so weird that there's like, I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? That whole other book in this book. So weird. I just had to tell you guys about that. That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Okay. But that book was not well edited, so don't look up that book for its services. And okay, and then not my last negative, I don't know. But the book did feel long. It's a long book, and the book did feel long. But some more editing could have helped that very easily. Simply focusing on more efficient wording, not repeating facts, and some proofreading for simple mistakes like extra spaces and extra words would have helped. Don't bite me, baby. There were some proofreading mistakes, and they could have easily been fixed if the book had just like been proofreaded. If somebody had proofread the book one more time. I'm sorry if this review sounds really scattered. He is just inconsolable. Okay. Some elements made the book seem like it was for people who were already Christians, and that's okay if that's what the author wanted. But it was like some phrases or dialogue assumed readers knew about Jesus and the Bible and the names of God. And it never came across as something that would like turn people off if they're not Christians, but it just might make people a little bit confused or have unanswered questions. I can't remember specific examples, but like, I don't know, like God is called your rock or your foundation. And that might have been something they referred to God, that our rock or foundation is helping us. And somebody who didn't know that name of God might be like, what are they talking about? But that's not a big negative. That's just something I thought I'd point out and mention. But overall, I had a bunch of little negatives, but overall, I think I gave this 4 or 5 stars. I can't remember. But it was a really, really good book. I really enjoyed it. I think it's really great. I think anybody could learn from it how to do Christian fantasy really well. And it was a magical adventure. It's just so imaginative, so magical, such a cool adventure. It had thrilling battle, and it had that theme of light versus darkness, and it had really good themes for middle grade or young adult, or like even adults, of those themes of finding joy and fear, like so many people deal with. Like, I think this is a great book, and everybody should read it. And I'm sorry, my baby would not be content and made this video difficult maybe to watch. It made it difficult to do for me. But anyway, this is a great book. This is what you need to know. This is a great book. You should read it. And that is my review. I'll have more about how to find Jessica Musgrove. She's got a YouTube channel and an Instagram. So look her up and follow her. And she has I think she has a part up where she's reading the book. At least, I can't remember. I'll put her YouTube channel link below and you can look her up and find her and watch her videos. She's got a really great voice to read her book. So thank you very much for watching. Please like this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please do all the YouTube things. Thank you for watching. Bye. You really wrecked it. You really wrecked it. You really wrecked it. You really wrecked it.
If you want to know more about Anna Thalian or H.A. Pruitt, please follow me on Instagram at H.A. Pruitt. You can find me on Amazon as an Amazon author, H.A. Pruitt. Please watch my YouTube channel and all my cool videos on my channel, H.A. Pruitt Anna Thalian. You can find me on the Facebook page, H.A. Pruitt Anna Thalian. You can follow me on Goodreads by the name H.A. Pruitt and the book Anna Thalian. Or you can go to my website where so much cool stuff about Anna Thalian is. The website is hapruitt.com.